Selections from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Part 26. The Vedanta. Delivered at Lahore on the 12th November 1897. Section 4. And with all the prattle about science that is going on daily at the present time in modern half-educated India, with all the talk about rationalism and reason that I hear every day, I expect that whole sect of you will come over and dare to be Advaitist and dare to preach it to the world in the words of Buddha, Bahujana Hitaya Bahujana Sukhaya. For the good of many, for the happiness of many. If you do not, I take you for cowards. If you cannot get over your cowardice, if your fear is your excuse, allow the same liberty to others. Do not try to break up the poor idol worshipper. Do not call him a devil. Do not go about preaching to every man that does not agree entirely with you. Know first that you are cowards yourselves. And if society frightens you, if your own superstitions of the past frighten you so much, how much more will these superstitions frighten and bind down those who are ignorant? That is the Advaita position. Have mercy on others. Would to God that the whole world were Advaitis tomorrow, not only in theory but in realization. But if that cannot be, let us do the next best thing. Let us take the ignorant by the hand, lead them always step by step, just as they can go, and know that every step in all religious growth in India has been progressive. It is not from bad to good, but from good to better. Something more has to be told about the moral relation. Our boys blithely talk nowadays, they learn from somebody, the Lord knows from whom, that Advaita makes people immoral. Because if you are all one and all God, what need of morality will there be at all? In the first place, that is the argument of the brute who can only be kept down by the whip. If you are such brutes, commit suicide rather than pass for human beings who have to be kept down by the whip. If the whip is taken away, you will all be demons. You ought all to be killed. If such is the case, there is no help for you. You must always be living under this whip and rod, and there is no salvation, no escape for you. In the second place, Advaita and Advaita alone explains morality. Every religion preaches that the essence of all morality is to do good to others. And why? Be unselfish. And why should I? Some God has said it. He is not for me. Some texts have declared it. Let them. That is nothing to me. Let them all tell it. And if they do, what is it to me? Each one for himself, and somebody take the hindmost. That is all the morality in the world, at least with many. What is the reason that I should be moral? You cannot explain it except when you come to know the truth as given in the Gita. He who sees everyone in himself and himself in everyone, thus seeing the same God living in all, he, the sage, no more kills the self by the self. Know through Advaita that whomsoever you hurt yourself, they are all you. Whether you know it or not, through all hands you work, through all feet you move. You are the king enjoying in the palace, you are the beggar leading the miserable existence in the street. You are in the ignorant as well as in the learned. You are in the man who is weak and you are in the strong. Know this and be sympathetic. And that is why we must not hurt others. That is why I do not even care whether I have to starve, because there will be millions of mouths eating at the same time and they are all mine. Therefore, I should not care what becomes of me and mine, for the whole universe is mine. I am enjoying all the bliss at the same time. And who can kill me or the universe? Herein is morality. Here in Advaita alone is morality explained. The others teach it but cannot give you its reason. Then, so far about explanation. What is the gain? It is strength. Take off that veil of hypnotism which you have cast upon the world. Send not out thoughts and words of weakness into humanity. Know that all sins and all evils can be summed up in that one word, weakness. It is weakness that is the motive power in all evil doing. It is weakness that is the source of all selfishness. It is weakness that makes men injure others. It is weakness that makes them manifest what they are not in reality. Let them all know what they are. Let them repeat day and night what they are. So aham. Let them suck it in with their mother's milk, this idea of strength. I am he, I am he. This is to be heard first. Shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavyah, etc. And then let them think of it. And out of that thought, out of that heart will proceed work such as the world has never seen. What has to be done? This Advaita is said by some to be impracticable. That is to say, it is not yet manifesting itself on the material plane. To a certain extent, that is true, for remember the saying of the Vedas. Omityekaksharam Brahma, Omityekaksharam Param, Omityekaksharam Nyatva, Yo Yadichati Tasya Tat. Om, this is the Brahman. Om, this is the greatest reality. He who knows the secret of this Om, whatever he desires, that he gets. Therefore, first know the secret of this Om, that you are the Om. Know the secret of this Tattvamasi, and then alone, whatever you want shall come to you. If you want to be great materially, believe that you are so. I may be a little bubble and you may be a wave mountain high, that know that for both of us the infinite ocean is the background. The infinite Brahman is our magazine of power and strength. And we can draw as much as we like, both of us, I the bubble and you the mountain high wave. Believe therefore in yourselves. The secret of Advaita is believe in yourselves first and then believe in anything else. In the history of the world, you will find that only those nations that have believed in themselves have become great and strong. In the history of each nation, you will always find that only those individuals who have believed in themselves have become great and strong. Here to India came an Englishman who was only a clerk, and for want of funds and other reasons, he twice tried to blow his brains out, and when he failed, he believed in himself. He believed that he was born to do great things, and that man became Lord Clive, the founder of the empire. If he had believed the padres and gone crawling all his life, "Oh Lord, I am weak and I am low," where would he have been? In a lunatic asylum. You also are made lunatics by these evil teachings. I have seen all the world over the bad effects of these weak teachings of humility destroying the human race. Our children are brought up in this way, and is it a wonder that they become semi-lunatics? This is teaching on the practical side. Believe therefore in yourselves, and if you want material wealth, work it out. It will come to you. If you want to be intellectual, work it out. On the intellectual plane, and intellectual giants you shall be. And if you want to attain to freedom, work it out on the spiritual plane, and free you shall be, and shall enter into nirvana, the eternal bliss. But one defect which lay in the Advaita was its being worked out so long on the spiritual plane only, and nowhere else. Now the time has come when you have to make it practical. It shall no more be a rahasya, a secret. It shall no more live with monks in caves and forests and in the Himalayas. It must come down to the daily, everyday life of the people. It shall be worked out in the palace of the king, in the cave of the recluse. It shall be worked out in the cottage of the poor, by the beggar in the secret. Everywhere, anywhere, it can be worked out. Therefore, do not fear whether you are a woman or a Shudra, for this religion is so great, says Lord Krishna, that even a little of it brings a great amount of good. Therefore, children of the Aryans, do not sit idle. Awake, arise, and stop not till the goal is reached. The time has come when this Advaita is to be worked out practically. Let us bring it down from heaven unto the earth. This is the present dispensation. The voices of our forefathers of old are telling us to bring it down from heaven to the earth. Let your teachings permeate the world till they have entered into every pore of society, till they have become the common property of everybody, till they have become part and parcel of our lives, till they have entered into our veins and tingle with every drop of blood there. You may be so astonished to hear that as practical Vedantas, the Americans are better than we are. I used to stand on the seashore at Newark and look at the emigrants coming from different countries, crushed downtrodden, hopeless, unable to look a man in the face with a little bundle of clothes as all their possession. And these all in rags, if they saw a policeman, they were afraid and tried to get to the other side of the footpath. And mark you, in 6 months, those very men were walking erect, well clothed, looking everybody in the face. And what made this wonderful difference? Say, this man comes from Armenia or somewhere else where he was crushed down beyond all recognition, where everybody told him he was a born slave and born to remain in a low state all his life, and where at the least move on his part he was trodden upon. There everything told him as it were, slave, you are a slave, remain so. Hopeless you were born, hopeless you must remain. Even the very air murmured round him as it were, there is no hope for you. Hopeless and a slave you must remain. While the strong man crushed the life out of him, and when he landed in the streets of New York, he found a gentleman well dressed shaking him by the hand. It made no difference that the one was in rags and the other well clad. He went a step further and saw a restaurant that there were gentlemen dining at a table, and he was asked to take a seat at the corner of the same table. He went about and found a new life, that there was a place where he was a man among men. Perhaps he went to Washington, shook hands with the President of the United States, and perhaps there he saw men coming from distant villages, peasants and ill-clad, all shaking hands with the President. Then the veil of Maya slipped away from him. He is Brahman, he who has been hypnotized into slavery and weakness is once more awake, and he rises up and finds himself a man in a world of men. Aye, in this country of ours, the very birthplace of the Vedanta, our masses have been hypnotized for ages into that state. To touch them is pollution, to sit with them is pollution. Hopeless they were born, hopeless they must remain. And the result is that they have been sinking, and have come to the last stage to which a human being can come. For what country is there in the world where man has to sleep with the cattle? And for this, blame nobody else. Do not commit the mistake of the ignorant. The effect is here and the cause is here too. We are to blame. Stand up, be bold, and take the blame on your own shoulders. Do not go about throwing mud at others for all the faults you suffer from. You are the sole and only cause.